Question, Greg. What's your favorite interview question for SDR candidates?
Favorite interview question for SDR candidates. So with SDRs, it's normally kind of an entry-level sort of role, and sometimes it might be the first job people have ever had. So I think for me, in order to understand where this person is coming from and their interest in the role, the position, the company, normally the first question I will actually ask is, what questions do you have for me? And that'll be the first question I ask, and that'll allow me to see the effort and the time and the research they've actually done into either myself, the team, the culture, the business, the industry, the product, the service. And normally the first question that comes out of their mouth will give me an indication of what their priorities are. If the kind of first response is, how much holiday do you offer? Then that's kind of like, maybe a bit of a red flag. But if it's also, can you tell me a bit about the journey that the company's been on? It seems really interesting after I researched X, Y, and Z. It'll allow me to see where they're coming from and their actual interest in joining the company to provide or add value, or if it's just coming at it, it's just a job and just looking for some cash and they don't really want to put the effort in.
I like that question.
Yourself?
It's something aligned to that question. I asked them, like, hi, Greg, I'm curious, why do you think you'd be a good fit for the role we're looking to fill? So it's sort of like, I'd like to know what homework you've done, what questions do you have for me, and whether you can engage a conversation with me, because that's essentially what they will be doing, right? You're going to reach out to people more senior than you, strike up a conversation, see whether it makes sense. So I feel like that opening question that I use kind of opens up how they want to go about it. And when I have candidates who say, no, I don't have any questions, that kind of like, okay, this interview is probably over.
Yeah. What's the worst interview you've had?
Well, first, the candidate was late, like 5 minutes late, and I actually had to email the candidate and send an SMS whether are we still on or you want to reschedule. And then already late into the actual Zoom call, the candidate didn't do his or her homework. Like, what do you know about our company? Like, to be honest, I'm sorry, I haven't gotten the chance to research it. Can you tell me more about your company? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, you confirm the calendar invite, you express your interest, but then it's just not professional, right?
Yeah. Too many red flags. Too many red flags straight away. That would have been a very short interview.
Yeah. And talking about short interviews, I don't know whether you do this, but personally, at the end of the interview, I give feedback to the candidate, whether it's a pass or fail. If it's fail, then I will actually give them tips on how they could do better. Or if they answer the question, not ideally, I give them tips how to better answer those questions. So at least, I'm telling them already they're not going to make it, so don't get their hopes up, and at least giving them something to build on for their next interview.
That's cool. That's really helpful. Yeah, we do the same thing. I think providing feedback, especially if they've bothered to turn up on time and maybe it just wasn't the best fit, I think at least you can give them some feedback and where you can see them maybe fitting in maybe another organization or a different department or something like that. That's super helpful.